Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Erik, Paul, and Christopher.
Welcome back to another episode of Rekt Reviews. And Christopher's not here.
We left him on Mars. I'm sorry.
Yes, we're planning a rescue mission. It's very complicated, though. We're trying to figure out if it's worth it.
Yeah, leave him.
We had to talk to the Chinese government.
Yeah, it's up to the Chinese now. But in lieu of Chris, we have a special guest. We have Shark.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going very well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And Shark does another radio show here called Shark After Dark.
Yes, indeed. The Shark After Dark show.
And
what time?
Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. All the latest in what's going on here in the bar and nightclub industry here in San Diego and all around the globe. We try to cover it all.
Oh, cool.
Give you a little inside look at what goes on in our little corner of the world.
So thanks for joining us this time and
absolutely
help us figure out The Martian.
Yeah, we're going to review The Martian for all of those wondering. We should probably announce what we're going to do the show before.
Well, if
we can get our act together.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
We're more concentrating on the refreshments that we have. So.
Oh,
that's true. We got to go around and talk about what we're drinking.
That's right. Yeah, I call them out. What are you drinking, Erik?
I am drinking grapefruit sculpin, which I know we've done like 4 shows, and I'm already doubling down again, but it's what I had in the fridge.
I kind of am too. I'm doing another Cabernet, a Chilean cab called Penilonco.
Well, I've got a variety of things here. So
Shark came prepared.
So first, my Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which is a beer that I really like, and then the Delirium Nocturnum, which is a Belgian ale. This one was actually given to me for my birthday, and just to kind of spice things up a little, I also brought something from the southern region of North America, an impudent little thing called Southern Comfort. This is just in case we want to get
more comfortable,
a little more comfortable. Yeah,
right.
So that's there just in case.
Very nice.
Wow, it's like a whole bar over here.
We try.
All right.
I do work in the bar industry, so I always come prepared.
Yeah, you brought a cooler, shot glasses, ice.
We got it all. We've got it all.
All right, so The Martian. Oh, unless anybody has a vape update since Chris isn't here.
No vape updates. The only update is I still have a sore throat and a cough from the last time I took a hit of Chris's vape. I don't know what he put in there, but I think it was...
Don't vape, kids. Otherwise, you get a sore throat.
I think it was like vaporized bio weapon or something.
Vaporized glass. He's trying to kill you.
All right. Well, The Martian. It's a popular movie right now.
Yeah.
We're actually talking about a current movie. So I'm proud of us. We got to the theater.
Yes.
And saw something that was in the theater.
Yeah, I went to the theater, paid good money. Went to a really cool theater, actually. I didn't know about it around here. Angelica over in Carmel Valley, I think.
I haven't heard of that one.
I think it looks pretty new. It's one like really nice, like the recliner seats.
Yeah, that's the one I went to.
I
think that's the one I went to. It's in like a shopping center.
Yeah. Not as expensive as like a Sinopolis.
I'm sorry. I went to Sinopolis.
That's it's almost that nice, but not as expensive, like $16 or something. Not like
Sinopolis bummed me out.
It's over expensive at Sinopolis.
It is, but like if you get a tab going, like they come at you like right before the end of the movie for you to sign your tab.
Oh, that's
like the crescendo of the movie is happening.
That's
and you're
like comedy
excuse
clubs
me,
too.
sir. You need to sign your thing.
They're a little bit rude with that.
I'm like, God, you just took me out of the movie. So yeah,
it's like
I'm not going back there.
It's like you could wait until the credits are rolling. We're not going anywhere. We're not going to dine and dash here at the movie. So
yeah.
But anyways, I don't know.
So yeah, cool movie theater movie. I kind of liked it. It wasn't, like you said. I think Erik, you said it was kind of a mixed bag.
It was a mixed bag for me.
What did you What about you, Shark?
You know what? I actually liked it a lot.
Nice.
For me, it was one of those things where a lot of films now, they don't have any story. And this one actually had a story. And the story was so good, and it was very well acted. I thought that...
A lot of big-name actors in this.
A lot of big-name actors, and I thought that Mr. Jason Bourne himself did a very good job. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's hard. I'm not an actor, but I would imagine that it's hard to act when you're alone.
It's a one-man show, yeah.
It's a one-man show. So to be able to pull that off, you know, and he had you had the humor and the, you know, the drama and all that. And there's a thing that I like in movies. I kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm weird with this, but that when films have that claustrophobic sort of feel to it, it makes it a really good film to watch for me. If you're like because it feels like you're right in there with him, and he kind of brought you in, made you feel like you were there.
Yeah, I thought Matt Damon did a really good job in this, and Jessica Chastain was really, really good.
Jessica Chastain is so high.
Yeah, she was a standout for me.
Yeah, she was.
And yeah.
But you know what? She was a standout, and she was really good. But it's funny to me that films do that. Like, she seems too young to be like the captain of this, you know,
right,
of this mission. You know, that's usually somebody that's probably like in their 50s, you know, that's done this a whole lot. And
no idea what the average age astronaut is.
Me either, but I would imagine they're not 25. Or, you know, so, you know, and that's what it kind of looked like. So, but she still did a great job. I think the rest of the cast was good. I didn't like what's the Kate Mara, the girl from House of Cards and the Fantastic Four. I think she's a terrible actress.
Really?
Yeah, I like.
She didn't bother me, but she didn't inspire a lot of these characters were really like one dimensional, so there wasn't really a whole lot for them to pull from, I would say.
What's the guy's name who was he was the NASA
Jeff Daniels?
Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
I really liked his character because he was like a good bad guy.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't really get a read on him. He's like, sometimes he's good. He had that kind of stock thing where it's like, oh, well, it's going to cost us money, so we can't go get him, and we can't use the bad press, so we can't tell anybody he's alive, you know. So he was kind of like on the fence between that, you know, the good and the bad through the whole movie.
That was the interesting thing about this movie, is that there wasn't really, you know, a villain, a bad guy.
Yeah.
Mars.
Oh, that's right, of course.
The red planet itself.
Mars was trying to kill him.
I'm not deep enough for that. But, yeah, Mars was the bad guy, you're right. But it grew in potatoes, though, so it wasn't all bad. They tried to cooperate. These guys just show up and then they start burying their poop in your soil.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Listen, you learn a lot about what goes on a space station, I guess. You have to. They had the poop. It was like labeled, like whose poop was whose. I didn't understand that. Like why? Why does that matter?
I think they go into that in the book. I don't remember exactly why, because I've actually read the book. So I will promise not to turn this into a book review and keep it a movie review. But yeah, I forget why they do that.
Yeah,
it has to do with bacteria and like stuff. But,
okay. Yeah, that was a little weird to me, but I was like, hey, I'm not an astronaut, so what do I know?
Or maybe it's if you lose a bet, you have to, you know, mix somebody's poop.
You literally have to eat someone's shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's you know, you get bored up on Mars, so it's like guess who's poop. That's one of the games they play. So,
but it was you know, probably one of the things that people tend to like about this movie is, unlike many sci-fi or space dramas, there's always, you go in there looking for sci-fi and you just get a bunch of ridiculous nonsense that scientifically just, you know, even fiction is not, you know.
Well, that's one of the, like, the bullet points of this movie is, and the book was that all of this is scientifically sound, or the guy who wrote the book wrote it specifically, like, this can actually happen in what our technology is at this point, or whatever.
And do they have those kind of crazy sandstorms on Mars? Is that legit?
Well, not the way it was portrayed. The way it was portrayed in the movie, because the atmosphere is way thinner. And
that's
like,
so.
Like storms there, you don't even notice.
Right, the atmosphere is so thin that you could launch a ship without a top
Right,
on
yeah.
it with just a tarp, but at the
Right.
same time, there's these
Yeah,
giant
and
storms.
That and see that kind of
That-
stuff. It's like, okay, well,
But it made for like a good movie moment. So I mean, that's obviously what they
right.
did.
But you make a good point with the science fiction and the horror thing. Like one of the reasons I like this movie because the whole time I was waiting for that bad moment when the Martian monster comes along.
The actual
You know, like
Martian.
he's had to deal with everything else. Now he has to deal with this Martian monster. You know, and then and then it's like, oh, okay, well, we're going to get you out of there, but don't kill the monster because we want to weaponize him and bring him. We want to bring him to Earth and make him a weapon. You know, I was waiting for that to happen, but luckily it didn't.
I think
So
Ridley Scott maybe learned his lesson from Prometheus.
I hope somebody learned a lesson from Prometheus.
Oh man, it was so much hype. Everyone was so looking forward to that movie, and I just ended up.
Well, yeah,
going-
I mean, Ridley Scott has made amazing sci-fi movies. He's got Blade Runner and Alien under his belt. I mean, Alien's a monster movie, but
Right.
it's a great
but
sci-fi
but
monster movie.
with
Yeah.
Aliens, you know it's going to be a monster movie going in. You know, I
Yeah.
like that. To me, like
oh, this
so-
would have been like, especially with all the press and like all the promotional trailers that they did.
Right.
Yeah, like if an actual alien showed up on this thing, that would have been.
yeah.
That would have been
I mean,
bad.
Ridley Scott. So because Blade Runner is a classic. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Blade Runner. You guys are a lot younger than me, so you probably wouldn't remember this, but Alien has the single best trailer to me ever. When before Alien came out, you know, I was in a theater, you know, I don't remember how old I was. I was probably 15, I don't know, something like that. But the Alien trailer, it was just like this loud noise, and it's in space, and there's an egg that comes up, and the egg just gets closer and closer, and then it cracks, and a green light comes out of it, and then it just says, "In space, no one can hear you scream."
right.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the coolest trailer ever. And then you see the movie, and the movie's really good.
And
So
that's kind of like what those earlier movies had an advantage is there was a lot more kind of psychological. Like Alien, it was a monster movie, but
Right.
it wasn't all just no. Like there was
Right,
a few very specific moments that would stick in your mind
Yeah.
forever. The thing jumping out of the guy's chest, or the mouth
Yeah.
coming at you with the
and
saliva.
that's iconic. Like so now every horror film has something busting out of somebody's chest. You know now.
Right.
So
Yeah. And it's badly done CG.
very bad.
Yeah. So
Very
when the
bad.
whole movie, or the whole half of it is these kind of scenes, they get
Right.
diluted, and and you've seen it all before. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And just real quick, I will give this movie credit is that the CG was used to like complement the story versus
Right.
making it the main focal
yeah,
draw.
there
or
was
whatever.
nothing really cartoony looking about it.
No, I thought Hermes looked really cool. I thought
Mm-hmm.
the Mars landscape looked cool. The rover,
Yeah.
all the stuff that I was curious when I read the book how they were going to visualize it. I was pretty pleased with the visual look of this movie.
Yeah.
So
I really like the stuff that they did, back on Earth. The way they, you had all these different people who were working on the problem, and the way they got them together, and it was kind of like, this is what he has up there to work with. So, this is what,
recreated on our end.
exactly. This is what he has to keep him alive. So, this is all you have
And
to
I
work
guess
with.
that's what they did on for Apollo 13.
yeah,
it was.
It
It was.
sort of kind of a similar thing. Just like
Yeah.
And the fact that it was all like at JPL. I'm from Los Angeles, so JPL is right there in Pasadena. And I actually had a friend whose father worked at JPL. So we all had JPL T-shirts when we were younger. We didn't know what the hell it was, but it was cool because we all played basketball and we had shirts that said Jet Propulsion Lab. You're like yeah, I jump so high, I wear a Jet Propulsion shirt, and I was like something real stupid, but it just brought back a few memories. Good movie though. Again, like I said, the whole thing with being alone and like claustrophobic and stuff like that, and him being able to pull off the story as opposed to a film like Gravity, and then like the same thing like at the end of Alien, it's just Sigourney Weaver is basically by herself, and so it's like you had the same. I'm alone. I'm in space. There's nowhere to go, and I don't know what to do.
Did you guys like Gravity? Or
I did.
I loved Gravity.
You know what? I liked Gravity because I like Sandra Bullock. It's hard to not like Sandra Bullock. She just
I was
seemed,
kind of cold on her until I saw Gravity, and I'm like, oh, she's good. She just makes movies I don't want to watch.
Yeah, she makes dumb movies, but she seems like a cool person. You know.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah, she just kind of seems like a nice person. But Gravity, I liked, except for the complete implausibility of the whole thing. You know, and I just to me, I don't know. Like, again, I'm not an astronaut, so I don't know. But like when you're like doing spacewalks and the ship blows up, everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. And if I'm floating out in space, I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to die. I'm going to die out here. So I think it's kind of cool. I'll float around for the next, I don't know, hour or so and pretend like I'm Superman or something, and then. Then just take the helmet off and be done with it. So.
That's a very good attitude to go into death. I gotta say, I'll fly around, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, so you're a George Clooney.
Exactly.
You're the George Clooney.
You know what? So when that part
flirt with a girl, fly around and
when that part came in on Gravity, when George Clooney showed back up, and I was and. It eventually turned out to be like a dream.
I figured it out. I figured it out in time.
Yeah, but
I didn't fall for it.
At first, I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah. At first, you're like, oh, this is where this movie goes to shit.
Yeah, I was like, you can't be. And then like it got even worse. I was like, wait a minute, he's back, and then he gets into the little pod or whatever with her, and then like opens up a bottle of beer or something like that. I was like, is this really happening right now? Are they actually doing this?
They changed the movie reel. This is something else.
Yeah.
So,
and then she lands. Then they had their alien moment in there too, because she took off all her clothes and she was in her panties at the end of the movie and like landed in Africa or somewhere. And
at the bottom of that little water thing.
Yeah,
she had to like strip it. Yeah, to swim out.
And so that was like at the end of that movie. That was another question. I was like, so what does she do now? She doesn't really know where she is. She's in the middle of the Gobi Desert or something
the last scene of the movie, she just gets taken out by a hippo.
She just gets killed and like
Well, so the very cool thing about that movie was the cinematography, obviously. And I saw it in 3D, which was awesome.
Yeah, the 3D with that was really good. Did anybody see this in 3D, by the way?
I saw it in 3D.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not either, so.
It was really good. I'm generally kind of against movies
I
in 3D.
generally hate 3D. But, yeah, Gravity, I thought it was done pretty well.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything that jumped out of the screen at you in this.
Right.
It was just kind of... So Gravity, it was the same director as Children of Men, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Where he's got the shooting style, where he's got these super long, continuous shots where like you really get sucked.
Yeah, the first shot of Gravity is like 20-something minutes.
Yeah, that's insane. It's crazy.
I think one of the differences with The Martian and Gravity, like you said, that in The Martian, they kind of explained that scientifically a lot of this stuff would work. You know, in Gravity, it's just like, well, we're going to do this.
Gravity was like telling a different story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like the fact that like in The Martian, he didn't just start growing potatoes. He says, I'm a botanist. He's like, so
right.
I'm going to try some stuff. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. You know, so.
And one of the things I appreciated is when he did like the mini explosion.
Right.
Like he forgot to calculate the oxygen he was breathing out.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. It's like, all right, I thought it was cool. Like, not everything in this movie is all hunky dory.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm troubleshooting this stuff, and I made wrong calculations.
Right.
And then he realized it when you correct it or whatever. But I really like that they kept that in there, because I think it would have been boring if it was just, oh, here's a problem. I solved it.
Everything works.
Yeah. So. I enjoyed that about it, but
I really liked when he finally made contact with everybody back on Earth, and then
he got teary-eyed.
Well, he got teary-eyed, but then like people started trying to tell him how to do things, and he's like, "Listen, he's like, I'm on Mars. I grew potatoes on Mars. You can't tell me, I know what I'm doing. Yeah,
that was a good part of it. Yeah,
drop F-bombs on you from a million miles above you.
Exactly,
in space.
Exactly. And the little there were little touches to it too, like it was the girl at Mission Control or whatever the hell it was, who's just like.
Oh, Mackenzie Davis.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Davis, she's awesome.
Yeah, and I like that character because you kind of get the idea. She's just like some girl who's like working the night shift, and that's her job to like monitor things. And then she actually was doing her job and actually saw something.
Yeah,
she's.
I liked her too. Yeah.
She's from *Halt and Catch Fire*. You ever watch that show?
I hear that's good, but
it's really good. I'm hooked on it. I blew through it. like Candy. Yeah, she's really good in that.
I will say she's about the only thing I liked about On Earth. I hated just about everything on Earth. I think that was my biggest problem with this movie.
Yeah,
they like you said, they put a lot of big names in it, and it was kind of.
I felt like it was big names, so they got a lot of screen time.
Yeah,
because I feel like we spent way too much time on Earth. I think it would have been a better movie. Because one of the things that didn't work for me, is in the book he's isolated, and I didn't get that sense in the movie because we just kept. I didn't think we had enough time to spend with him alone,
right?
And and Moody and stuff. Because this is already a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah,
and I loved it. I would have loved it if it was 3, but I'm probably like a few out of most that wanted to see more of it. But
I could have taken more. It was like it would have been good.
Yeah, but I don't know. A lot of the stuff on Earth, especially considering I read the book, because there was way more bickering back and forth. A lot of the
bickering.
Yeah, a lot of the different heads of like all the NASA places weren't exactly working.
I really
quite together.
Really hated it. The one guy. He's an actor. He's on that show Community.
Oh, I hated him
too.
And I know
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, and his rap name is Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
He was terrible.
He was terrible in this.
I was like, why is he even in this? Like,
And I generally like him. I've seen his stand up, and I like Community, but his character is off. Like that little thing he does, like he's talking to the head of NASA, and he's like, "Hold the stapler and let me run around you to show you what I'm talking about."
Yeah.
I'm like, this is terrible. What are we doing?
Bugs Bunny'd his way through that scene.
Yeah, and
that
right there is another like kind of like stock character. Like the kid's a genius, but he's real quirky. It's like I saw. You ever see the movie Real Genius?
Oh yeah,
a long time ago. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what he was like. He's like, okay, I'm a genius and I can help, but everybody has to deal with the fact that I'm kind of quirky, and and
it's like, was it played for comic relief?
Yeah,
like I don't know,
because it wasn't funny. Yeah,
and
it wasn't funny.
I didn't particularly think what he was doing was smart. It was just awkward and unnecessary.
And what's I think the thing with that is I think a better actor may have been able to pull that off. Even though it was kind of a stupid character to begin with.
Daniel Tosh would have pulled it off.
I liked all the guys. I liked the Asian guy at JPL too, who they were like, well, you have. He's like, I need 3 months, and they were like, well, you have 1.
Oh,
and he's just kind of looking at him like, yeah, you're not listening to me.
Yeah.
I need more time, or this guy's dead. So,
that got him.
What did you think of Sean Bean, the guy that's who's always like, oh, you're such a coward. Tell them you have to tell the astronauts. Let them.
I mean, like, well, what did he do in the movie? Like
he didn't have a real big part.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
Well, but
he was a counterpoint to Jeff Daniels.
Right.
He's everyone's conscience is basically what he was. He would do the right thing, don't do the by the book thing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that was confusing is like, I know Jeff Daniels was like supposed to be the guy in charge of everything, but it seemed like Idris Elba and Sean Bean were also like in charge. It was like they kind of, he's like, well, you're in charge of all of NASA, but I'm in charge of the astronauts.
Like he was the head of the Hermes thing.
Yeah, and it's like and like he was in charge of the astronauts. And
right.
But so, and correct me if I'm wrong on this. And maybe I missed this in the movie. Aren't like astronauts, a lot of them, aren't they like military? They're like Air Force, aren't they? So they should be under some other kind of some other sort of like control.
They said in the movie that 2 of them were military. And
okay.
If they
the pilot and
that they're going to face a court martial if they go back to Earth. So
yeah, and that's I mean, like, again, not an astronaut. I don't know how NASA works, but I think that somewhere along there, a general could come along and be like, no, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to do this, So who knows?
Yeah.
It's funny to me, too, because, like, you also, it teaches you some things if this is indeed real, because the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, why don't you just tell them that he's alive and they can turn the ship around and go back? Like, but apparently you can't just turn the ship around and go back. You got to
slingshot it around the Earth.
Yeah,
to pick up speed or whatever. Yeah, based on because they had just enough fuel to do whatever their mission is, not to go back to Mars a second time or all that stuff.
I think as Americans who watch films, we are they always usually have to have a happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but oh
god, the ending is
sometimes it's like, okay, you should be able to say, hey, listen, they tried, but they couldn't save the guy, so he didn't make it.
Yeah. Sometimes you just
and that could have made it. I mean, to see the emotion of these people that know the guy's alive, but he didn't make it. That'd probably be a good ending too. I mean, it would be kind of messed up and a little bit sad, but
I'm fine with them being rescued. I'd hated the. Again, like in the book, it ends as soon as he gets on Hermes. Like he does one log entry and that's it. Like the whole thing, him back in the Earth being a teacher and that, whatever that crap was.
Is there more of that in the book or not?
No, like it ends with him on Hermes. Like So that's it.
That was to drive the point that it was like math and science can.
It's like
will
let's sum
solve
up the
anything.
movie.
Yeah,
the last 2 hours we're summing up in 5 minutes. What? It's just. When you have problems,
one problem at a time. You get to go home. That was one of my problems with the movie. I was a little.
And he was and so when he got back and he's teaching, he was a little too well adjusted for me because if I'm alone on Mars for
should be like a
year,
strip joint, man.
Yeah,
he's like let's get shit done. Right
yeah,
now.
and I'm probably going to be just a little bit crazy. Like I'm not the person that should be teaching your children. Like, I'm gonna be just a little bit off, So. Every time I hear something, like, what was that? Waking up screaming because you think you're on Mars. So,
yeah, he didn't seem very traumatized by it.
And that's, I don't know. That's like another big problem I had with the movie was kind of like the tone set.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they were going for kind of a more lighthearted thing. There was a lot of joking and quipping and.
Yeah, but but because of that tone, like there was never any like sense that he's going to die.
Right.
It's like, but. Well, we can science the shit out of this later.
Oh, you stole my line. I was just going to say that. God damn it. All right. We'll be right back with our second half of the show.
And maybe some shots.
And maybe some shots. We're going to science the shit out of those shots.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
Black MP Living Water is a revolutionary drink for athletes and people alike. All natural, organic sports performance beverage that contains humic and fulvic minerals, naturally occurring electrolytes, first generation SBO probiotics, alkaline water with stable pH of 10. Athletes need solid nutrition. Black MP is the answer. Designed by athletes, for athletes. Train hard, eat clean, drink Black MP. Just visit the website blackmp.net. Use promo code CSKeys to get a very special discount.
Hi, this is Rob Barnett, VinVillage.com, where wine lovers connect. Be sure to tune in weekly to Vin Village Radio for exclusive, in-depth interviews with the who's who in wine and food.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Besides the hard work of our incredible WS Radio staff that has decades of experience in the broadcast industry, one of the reasons WS Radio sounds so good is we use Orban technology. We are not alone. Over 50,000 professional broadcasters can't be wrong. From radio, TV, streaming to hardware and software, Orban has been supplying the broadcast industry for nearly 30 years. Great customer service and continued R&D separates Orban from the rest. Learn more at Orban.com.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the coaches training program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Erik, Paul, and Christopher.
We're qualified by our beer goggles.
I love that beer goggle technology.
We have the technology. We can solve any problem.
Like getting off Mars.
Yeah.
You drink enough beers, you'll find a way off Mars.
Wouldn't it be so? The fact that he proved, you know what? If you have a little technology and intelligence, you can actually live on Mars. So now that you've gotten me off of Mars, why don't we take a few people and go back and build some habitats and grow some potatoes, maybe take some cows up, have a few steaks or something.
That's Martian too. I'm sure it's in the works. Considering how successful this thing's
You know what? Yeah, don't say that because it'll happen.
I
just
wouldn't doubt it, man.
They're doing Prometheus too, so
yeah, maybe they'll tie them in together. Matt Damon and Prometheus too.
That's what I originally thought. I thought this movie was a spin-off of Matt Damon being stuck on a planet in Interstellar.
Yeah.
No, he's Dr. Man in Interstellar.
Right.
Because man's the real enemy.
Interstellar was
man,
bad.
You're good at this. You're good at identifying the villain.
That one was so on the nose, it was ridiculous. But
Interstellar to me was just a bad movie. Like so many. What was the other one that he did?
Oh,
that Nolan did.
Inception.
Inception.
Yeah,
that movie made absolutely no sense to me.
It's not a good movie.
It's not a good movie at all.
Yeah, we are like one of like 7 people in the world who do not like Inception.
I think because Nolan was making the Batman films, everybody's decided they're going to like whatever he does.
The coolest thing in Inception is when the world flipped over on itself or whatever. They did it once.
Yeah,
it's like that's cool. I can't wait to see that again.
It was a cool effect, but the rest of the movie, it's like what is it exactly you're trying to say here? It sounds like you're kind of trying to be like. Kind of like the Matrix, maybe a little, and then and then something else, and it's like, and you're using the.
It's a movie that took an hour and a half to set up the last half an hour, which is but the Martian. We'll talk about the Martian.
And I like when a movie is intellectually challenging.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, like those Nolan movies, like I'll watch them and it's like this big dense thing, and in theory, it should be something you want to go back and like dissect and watch over and over. But I just don't feel like going back and watching Inception a second time or third time, or Interstellar a second, third time.
Paul, was there anything that didn't work for you, or
2 things I didn't like is
other than Donald Glover. We're just going to assume you didn't like Donald Glover.
I didn't mind him. He was fine.
He sucked.
Whatever. He was a cliche, but I don't know. Whatever. I can do without like staring at. A bloody wound that you're like sticking metal chunks in, just like
I don't know. I thought that was pretty effective actually. Like that's supposed to be an uncomfortable scene, and they made it feel pretty uncomfortable.
It's realistic.
Yeah,
like that was cool for me because that was the first thing he did. He was like, okay, all right, I'm trapped on Mars. I got that. He's like, first thing I have to do is take care of this wound.
Yeah.
Or you'll get infected and I'll die anyway. So it was like,
and I guess it's a PG-13 movie, so you have to use your fucks sparingly. You only get like 2. That was a pretty good use of the word fuck.
Yeah. Good use of the word fuck. But
perfect placing.
That's the kind of thing that I question is like, why is hearing the word fuck a big thing, but staring at someone like digging in their meat and just. That like if you're like a 12-year-old kid with a 13-year-old kid, that might freak you out.
It's the way we've been programmed to watch films, or the way they do films.
Violence are fine, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pro-violence.
So you have to be like we're adults at that point. All I was thinking was like, this is where I'd probably be dead because I wouldn't be able to. Like,
I wouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do surgery.
I'll put a
myself.
Band-Aid on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Where's the hydrogen peroxide? I'm done.
Cry
Right?
myself to death.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been my use of the word fuck. I'd have been like, well, fuck. I'm trapped on Mars and I got this wound. I'm going to be dead in 15 minutes. So like,
My other problem with the movie, and even though it's a minor thing, I just hated it, was the line, "I'm gonna science the shit out of this."
yeah,
That's a bad line.
That's just, come on. Like, don't. Isn't there anyone to tell you no when you're running your script past people?
I was trying to guess why on that because the book. There's a lot of science in the book, and that doesn't make for good movie viewing.
It's trying to make science cool with swearing, I think.
Well, it's just like, well, how do we like a lot of this stuff's founded, in real science, but it's kind of boring to show it. So let's do montages, right? So let's show them doing all this stuff. So what's a quick way that we can show that like it's sciencey, but we don't have to actually show that we're the actual formulas or whatever because no one wants to see that in a movie. So let's come up with a line, science the shit out of it. I don't know.
Stuff like that. I always get the feeling there is a producer who's the money guy and like knows he's a businessman but doesn't really know anything about films. But he's like, this is the one line that I want in this movie.
Yeah.
So either we use this line.
Statistics
or,
prove 18 to 30-year-olds appreciate the word shit every 14 minutes.
Yeah.
In a movie.
So if we say science the shit out of it, if we use science and shit, come on, we're brilliant. So they're like, you know what? Let's just appease this guy and make him give us $20 million more dollars. And so just go ahead and say science the shit out of it, and then we'll move on. So you got to compromise when you make films, I guess.
And that takes acting. Yeah. You got to give it to Matt Damon to deliver that line.
I'm sure he.
I have no problems with Matt Damon in this movie.
He did really good.
I think he did really well. You know
I like Matt Damon in most things.
Yeah, but Matt Damon is a good actor. He's a really good actor. I think he takes some roles that are like and then I just recently because on Netflix again. I like the Bourne films.
Oh,
I like the Bourne Identity.
First two are great.
The first two are great. I didn't like the
third one's bad.
The third one is horrible. It's terrible, absolutely terrible.
You.
So and
we agree.
Yeah, I like
the third one is still with him or with Hawkeye.
That's with
no. The fourth one's Hawkeye.
The fourth one's Hawkeye.
The third one is
the Bourne Supremacy.
It's just bad.
It's just a long.
It takes away a lot of the good stuff. It takes a lot of the fun stuff.
He gets the girl at the end, and they go on vacation or something.
No. The girl dies in the beginning.
She dies in the beginning of the second one.
She gets killed.
I forget the third one.
Which was kind of cool. What a payday for her. She's in the movie for like 5 minutes.
He goes back to the center where they trained him, right? And confronts the old guy that made him.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
Yeah. It's really bad. And then you ever notice how and this is in most movies, so for an agency that has trained this guy and he's like a superhero, everybody else is totally incompetent. He's able to make phone calls to them from across the street, and he's looking at them through the window, and then
they always are surprised.
Yeah.
Oh no, where is he?
He knows. And then he's just like there's.
They look around the room too, which is great.
Yeah.
Like he's somewhere in the room. Come on,
quickly. There's 100 agents get downstairs. They've had the same training he's had, but he's able to get away. Nobody thinks to look.
He's better
He's
looking,
in a car
though.
that just drove by. So
he's better looking. That's why he has the advantage.
Hey,
it makes you magically a better agent.
He's the Martian. That's another thing.
He scienced the shit out of that scene and was able to get away.
Is every I bet we could go online right now. We could Google astronauts throughout the years, and not one of them looks like Jessica Chastain. Or
there's probably one hot Martian. One hot astronaut. That's got to be right.
They're like, let's put the hottest person we can find in this.
The hottest person. That sounds like a reality show.
Yeah.
Let's get the hottest person to space.
The hottest space captain.
I think that would be a real good test if somebody would pay for it. Let's remake one of these movies like The Martian, just with ordinary looking people. I'll be the Martian.
That's totally a gripe I have about movies, which is why I love movies from the 80s. Like if you I love The Thing, and The Thing is like a bunch of like old dudes.
The
like,
Thing's
with
great.
Yeah, with the bushy beard. Like there's not a pretty person in that fucking movie, but it's a great movie.
It's a great movie. It's another.
And they remade.
It's another claustrophobic movie.
Yeah, and they remade The Thing like a couple of years ago, whatever. And it's just a bunch of young, pretty people. And it's like, I don't care.
Yeah, they used to put Charles Bronson in movies.
Charles Bronson was probably the ugliest person on the face of the earth. Yeah, ever. But he was like and he was always Charles Bronson. He was like never a different, kind of like Robert Downey Jr. is always Robert Downey Jr. In whatever movie. Charles Bronson was always Charles Bronson.
That's not Hollywood. More ugly people.
Charles Bronson. So
we appreciate ugly people.
The Mechanic, and they redid The Mechanic, completely different movie with Jason Statham. Like it's not even close to being the same movie. So why are you doing it? But again, we're talking about The Martian. So
speaking of mechanics,
All right, I have one more gripe, and I'm curious how you guys feel about it. Because, all right, the ending when he Iron Man's his way back.
Oh yeah,
right.
How'd you guys feel about that?
Completely, totally ridiculous.
Yeah,
I was really bummed out by it.
Listen, I'm again no scientist, but I know for a fact that you can't break a window on an airplane and survive. So how do you put a tarp over like a spaceship and you're able to just fly?
Well, the tarp thing I didn't actually have a problem with because they explain in the book, but yeah, that has to do with the atmosphere and also he's in
a space suit,
so he doesn't need any of that. But just like him like maneuvering with the air from his hand is no. That was
Iron Man.
That was a joke in the book. Like he makes a joke in the movie, but then they actually do it. They doesn't do that in the book.
That's interesting. How fast your suit would probably depressurize instantly, right? It wouldn't. You're not just shooting.
I have no idea.
I don't know, but I don't know about the physics of that. But the thing that did bother me,
I know you can't control that, especially in his condition. Who's like
right. So my problem was at first he was having a really hard time controlling it, which was kind of realistic. He thinks it's a good idea, and then he just like starts flopping all over the capsule. But then he sort of starts getting it, and once he and the
was also in a concussion just like a few minutes earlier.
Right. Yeah.
With a broken rib.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like flying kind of uncontrollably with it until he hooks up with the captain, and they're just holding each other, and now they're fine, and everything is calm, and his glove is not like sending them spinning together.
And not to sound not to sound sexist in this, but like if he's hurling that fast at a girl who weighs 125 pounds, is she really going to be able to reach out and just grab him like that? Because it seems to me like that's a dislocated shoulder, and he's going to just keep flying.
We all weigh the same in space.
Her boyfriend was going to do it, but she couldn't trust him with the job because he's too dumb.
Because
that's another thing that bummed me out. In the book, that doesn't happen. It's him that goes through it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And Matt Damon does an Iron Man. Like, he actually goes into the capsule to pick him up.
So this is another... We brought this up during... for Mad Max, how there is this kind of like feminist undertone to it. Do you think that's what's going on here? You just got girl power?
I don't think so. I think it was that they played up her guilt. I mean, which is one of the things I liked about it, like her guilt for leaving him behind.
Right.
And so she was the driving force behind it, so they made her be the one that... I mean, they're the ones that had the connection, so let's put a pretty bow on the end of this sort of thing.
And I think that's probably like that's kind of the feeling you get, but I think it's because that last shot is because they want her and Matt Damon's face next to each other, like we're in space and everything is good now and everything is calm.
I'm sure it makes
the
for
two
a good
pretty
poster
faces.
somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
but
we're never going to be able to get away from that type of filmmaking.
But then why did she have a boyfriend if they're supposed to have like... I thought they would have like a little tension between them, but then she's got this...
Yeah.
No, thank God they didn't do that.
that would have been the love story in space.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's really good they didn't do that. That's a question. So, do you, if you're her, of course you're going to feel some guilt about leaving the guy, but you've got to save the rest of your crew, so you can't really stay there.
Yeah.
Okay. My thing, what I didn't understand was, so when they finally told that crew that he was actually still alive, because they waited like a couple months or something like that before they told them on their way back. I would have showed them, like, they should have been pissed. Like you guys, what do you mean you're not going to tell us? I mean, and their reasoning was, well, we want you to concentrate on your mission getting back. But it's like, we're professionals. We're not gonna just turn the ship around because we can't do it.
Yeah. It would have been cool if they had more time to spend with their reaction and their decision to go back to get them and all that stuff. But
I think the movie needed another 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I would have been for that.
That would have been cool.
Or cut out the shit on Earth because it was bad.
Cut out everything with Donald Glover.
Cut out with that.
Yeah, get rid of him.
Oh, the other gripe I had with the movie is their initial resupply ship that they send blows up, and then just magically the Chinese show up to save the day. Like there's nothing set up with them at all. They just kind of appear out of nowhere. And
there's a lot more tension about that in the book too.
Yeah, it was something that just kind of shoved into a movie and kind of had to compress it too much.
That's a whole political thing. Now I think that actually my biggest gripe with the movie is at the end where the entire world there's all this unity. We've all come together and saved this guy, and now. It's on the screen in Times Square, and then it's on some big screen in Beijing, and it's like everybody's like, "Oh, we're all one now." It's like, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
They should have showed up them landing on Earth and handing Matt Damon a bill for $1 billion. It's like you owe us some money, man.
You owe us 8 trillion potatoes.
Yeah. Get out your checkbook, dude. Now, now, can you science the shit out of this?
Oh man.
So it's it's a really good movie, but there's very few movies, there's very few films that I've ever seen.
We're not picking out of love, right?
Yeah, because it's good. There's very few films I've seen that are flawless. I can't.
Flawless was a pretty good movie.
Never saw it.
Flawless. I don't even know what that is.
It's about a diamond heist.
Oh God,
it was good.
The Godfather is a flawless movie.
There you go.
That's a flawless film. Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee is a flawless movie, but not very many more. So.
Yeah, it's hard. There's not that many flawless films, I guess, anymore.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Like I said, anymore.
See, now,
was there a reboot?
No, you know what?
Probably a reboot of that.
You know what I was going to say? So there's a whole lot of films that did it first. Okay, yep. Enter the Dragon for that type of film where every kung fu, not every kung fu, but a lot of kung fu movies now are they go to a secret island and have a tournament. Okay, Enter the Dragon was the one to do it first. Debbie Does Dallas was the first porn movie to do Debbie Does Dallas.
To do Dallas, yeah.
Debbie
you think
was
The Martian would have been better with more martial arts and sex? Probably, right?
That will be in part 3.
If he kung fu the shit out of some stuff on Mars. Yeah.
And had a little sex with the rover.
There you go.
The rover was making eyes at him the whole time.
Well, they'll do it again in part 4, and it'll be, I don't know, Wesley Snipes will be this time.
Going to bring back Wesley Snipes? All right.
The Martian is back, but this time he's black. It'll be that sort of thing going on. And, you never know.
Can Mars, the planet, say always bet on red, motherfucker, or something like that?
You know what? I tell you what's really sad. We're making a joke about this, but there probably is going to be a Martian too.
I wouldn't doubt it, man.
It's going to be terrible. And it'll be it's going to be something like, oh, we accidentally left this on the planet, and it's come to life, and it's turned. We left the rover. The rover has come to life on the planet, and now it's training other rovers, and they're going to come to Earth and destroy us.
I like to think they just leave Matt Damon on Jupiter or something. We just switch the planet.
Well, one of the things I found interesting about this movie is I was thinking of it, I was comparing it to other sci-fi classics, and one of my all-time favorites is Contact, and actually at the time I didn't like that about the movie, but I think later on I kind of did. Is they kind of have this whole science versus religion, faith versus known stuff. Kind of conflict, and this one was conspicuously absent from it. It was just straight science, logic and reason. That's the only thing.
There's a little Jesus in this.
He had the little cross that he was
that he dismantles.
Well, with Contact, first of all, I think any movie with Matthew McConaughey in it sucks because he's a terrible actor. always has been, except for Dazed and Confused. There's not really anything else I would want to see him in. Yeah. And then you put him and Jodie Foster in a movie, and she's She is a very successful actress and filmmaker, and she's terrible. She doesn't have any like emotion. It's just like the dead face. She's always just the same person.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any beef with either one of them, really.
You know what? Matthew McConaughey, before he became
He's
famous,
just kind of full of himself.
Yeah. Well, I remember his whole like being in Variety, and like they were saying he's the hottest new actor, and he had never done anything. Like he hadn't been anything, but his publicists and people were saying he's the hottest new thing.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not sure how that came about.
Well, because everybody just started believing. Well, I guess maybe he is the hottest new thing.
Dallas Buyers Club, though, that was good.
It's a good movie. That's a good movie.
And what about True Detective? You see that?
You know what? I've never seen True Detective.
Oh, he kills it.
I have never seen.
He's
True
a good
Detective.
actor. He could pull it. He could pull it out.
I thought he was good in Interstellar. I mean, as much as I didn't like the movie, but there's that scene where he's like looking over like 20 years that he missed, like from the video logs of his kids, like that. I thought that was pretty moving.
Well, I think Shark must have seen the Lincoln commercial.
He's got his
can't get over it.
Yeah, he's always
got his moments.
He's always the laid back Texas guy. You know?
I mean, he does shit like Sahara or whatever that was.
See that never saw any of that. You know, so I need to watch True Detective because I hear it's good.
The first one,
but see, my thing with that is everybody when these series come on, everybody says, "Oh, it's the greatest thing you've ever seen," and then I always get disappointed.
Really,
it took me the longest time to watch Breaking Bad. I didn't watch Breaking Bad until it was on Netflix. But then when I watched it, I was like, "This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen." Like it was really cool. But like The Wire. I don't think The Wire is all that.
I'm with you on that.
I don't think The Wire is all that great.
The Wire.
Yeah. I mean, there are some things in it that are cool, but I was like, everybody's like, it's the greatest series ever. I'm like, nah, actually, it's not.
Yeah, maybe I should give it another try. But
no, you shouldn't.
I am pro The Wire.
Change,
I will encourage more Wire.
But that's one of those reasons why I haven't seen a whole lot of his stuff. Because apparently True Detective was like the best thing he's ever done. They talked about that.
But The Martian would have been better with Matthew McConaughey. Being on Mars going, all right.
That's the thing about these Martian girls.
I'm going to science the shit out of this.
Still the same age. I'm going to science the shit out of this.
It'd be like his Lincoln commercial where he's sitting back.
That thing is pretty
I'm
lame.
here on Mars. Thing about Mars is you
just gotta stay cool.
You gotta stay cool, and you gotta science the shit out of it.
So I guess it looks like we're just about out of time. We got about 30 seconds left. Any closing statements?
Next show, Crimson Peak.
Yes, I think next one's going to be Crimson Peak
All
for
right.
it's going to
Halloween.
be a Halloween special.
Crimson Peak looks interesting.
Yeah,
to say the least.
I haven't seen anything on it. I'm very excited to see it. I gotta say.
The scary house. You
guys believe in ghosts? Any ghost experiences?
Nope.
I've had one. I've had one.
I can't wait to hear it.
I've had some weird stuff happening, but of course, unexplainable.
Yeah.
Say if it's ghost, it's ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are afraid of ghosts though, because it's like oh, the ghost of your great grandmother. Well, I'm not afraid of my great grandmother. So.
Yeah. She's a nice lady.
Yeah, so whatever, you know.
Do you ever have to bounce any ghosts out of the houses?
I've had to bounce a whole lot of ghosts. Yeah, I've had to bounce several ghosts.
Excellent.
All right, I guess that's it for this episode. You are listening to Rekt Reviews on WSRadio.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks with our Halloween special.
Go see The Martian. You'll love it.
Yeah, go see The Martian. It was good. We'll see you next time. Take care. Stay wrecked.
A podcast or radio show on WS Radio is a great way to create content marketing. Turn prospects into customers into raving fans. Contact Wade at WSRadio.com or call 866-WS-RADIO.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goli, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get to the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Small businesses are the lifeblood of America's economy. Every Thursday, SBA Radio interviews industry professionals and is dedicated to provide small businesses with timely insights and innovations. Visit www.sbaradio.us for details.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
Has your business been appified? Are you tired of doing marketing that doesn't deliver results? Mobile apps build loyalty and quality retention. Your app from UPG Mobile puts your business on their mind and at their fingertips. UPG Mobile will give you a custom app highlighting how you are unique, targeting your message, and improving your open rates. Appify your business and amplify your presence with your customers at upgmobilemarketinggroup.com.